Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Artist Coaching Podcast. Just when we started, my little one was started talking. Just like a small disclaimer before we start, I'm here with at home with two kids. One didn't want to sleep, so she's watching TV right now, and the other one's playing outside. So I might be leaving every now and then, just so you know. But that's all fine. It's live. Who cares? It's Carnavalsvakantie here, as we call it. So they're all free from school. How have you guys been?
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Have you celebrated Carnival?
Nope.
Nope.
Don't you go back home, Jopke, to celebrate Carnival?
The thing is, this year, well, I also have a baby of a half year old and another one of 2.5. So I was like, I don't want to take that time off or something. But also, if you're not in Brabant while Carnival is happening and you see it, it seems I can see why people who never celebrated it are like, what the hell is that? People are just
Yeah.
standing around drinking beer.
You have to
But
be
I
in
also
it.
know that if you go, it's amazing and it's you drink a lot and then you miss like easily a couple of days. And I think I'm getting old. Like I don't want to have the hangovers and
I
the
actually
the
found a
time
life hack
just
this
lost.
year. You just start drinking in the afternoon and go to bed at 10. You have no hangovers the day after. It's perfect.
Yeah,
Hey, you
maybe for
only get
you.
a hangover if you stop drinking.
True.
Oh,
Hey, knowledge bomb. Woo, let's go.
Doom.
Anyway,
did you celebrate it,
Anywho.
Ralph or Joey?
yep, I did. I went on Friday. Unfortunately, last minute the babysitter got sick, so we had to split up. So I had to stay home for one evening. So I went on Friday and I went on Sunday, and on Saturday only in the afternoon, and then went back home. But I had a good time. Yeah, definitely. What's up, Bit3, Marin, Melodramatic? Welcome to the chat, everyone. Hope you guys are doing well. I don't. I can only hear you laughing. I'm just watching a different screen.
Yeah, I
I'm
was just going
managing
like
it.
this, like cool story,
No.
bruh.
Hey, thanks for
Okay.
sharing.
Okay. Okay. What's up,
Sharing is
Jamie
caring.
Strife? What's up? What's up? Another interesting week in music industry. We found a
Really?
couple of things. Yeah, I
Okay.
actually. Yeah, you don't.
I feel like I have so little to report this week. I don't know. I've been busy, but like for some reason, there's nothing
Let's just go back.
comes
Let's
to
just
mind.
go to the big news instantly. Oh, that's my first kid ringing the doorbell. Laid back Luke is bringing back Leave This World Behind, or at least he's gonna do something with it on the 7th of March. I saw, so I saw it
Hmm.
coming by, and I'm very curious to see what it's gonna be. But who, if you're in the chat right now, do you remember that song? Because it's already like 10 years old or something.
Way older.
10-year-old. I think it's
15, easy.
2009-ish.
15.
15.
2 seconds, my
Yeah,
kid's
jeez.
here.
But it's going smooth today, man.
Uh,
The smoothest podcast for everyone who's listening right
2009.
now. I'm sorry for this.
2009. Joey sometimes has to mute because his kids are there,
Yeah.
so he has to. He's very strict, a very strict parent, as you can see. He's
Yeah.
telling his
He has
daughter,
no.
They
"Get
they
back!"
He has.
she came in as like, I want candy. So okay, take the candy, go outside, bye bye.
Mm.
And now the
That's what
little
I
one
wanted
is
to say. You have no like, how do you call it? Authority at home. You're
I
just a
actually
candy picker.
I actually have
Judged on
quite
those.
quite the authority. Like I would say my girlfriend is the soft one, but in these cases, like I'm more like go outside, take your things. I want to do this, and then go back to you. So yeah, right now
Oh,
they
here the
can.
same. My kids are outside now doing push-ups. I mean,
Oh
I got
yeah,
it
I
all
can
under
imagine. Yeah,
control.
with the
Yeah.
personal trainer, right?
Give me 20. No candy.
500 more push-ups.
Yeah. No, but anyway, leave this world behind. I saw Luke posting a teaser yesterday with just a date and the chorus. So I'm very curious. It's fun to. It's one of those tracks that really, like to me, it really impacted me. It was really a memorable song. Like, did that one got released before one or
Yeah,
after?
a year before.
Before.
Before. Okay, so that was the first one from their side. It's
Yeah, that was the
insane
first.
song.
I think like they weren't even Swedish House Mafia yet. I think that kind of started it all because they were just like
They
I
were
think they
just
were booked
Mafia.
once as a back to back as kind of a. It was one of those things where it wasn't really planned, and out of nowhere they just decided, hey, this sounds cool, Swedish House Mafia. We're friends. We're doing this together, and then it also was in the scene like a bit of a like mystery, like
Yeah,
are
but
they
you had
together or not?
Axwell, you had Ingrosso, you had Angelo, like all three of them legends. You had Luke, legend, and then all collaborating. Like that was and that track was a hit that summer. Holy
Huge,
shit,
huge.
so huge. And I'm very curious to see what he's going to do with it. But I saw he's really bringing back the old school things, as in he's also posting a lot of old pictures and videos from back in the day. So he told us about this in the last podcast, right, Ralph? When at your place,
Yeah, he's way back Luke, isn't it?
way back, look, yeah,
Yeah, but
exactly.
he's like a living catalog, and he's been around for ages. And yeah, it's always good to grasp back to the old things, but it should also be new. I mean, if you now compare the songs back then with the ones you have now,
The
some
quality,
don't
you
sound
mean,
so good anymore.
His new track is called It Clicked. It
from
came
who?
out on Dim Mac, Laid Back Luke's new
Hmm.
track, and I played it in my podcast, in my radio show, which you can listen on my SoundCloud.
Shameless plug.
Um, but it's very like the old
I'm
school
so
Luke
proud of
sound.
Jobke. You've
Yeah,
changed, man. You're
Jonk is
like
getting
this
like that
commercial
capitalist
beast.
inside of him.
Yeah.
Like, let's go.
He was
Uh,
always
for
the
uh,
one, but now he just
for 50
lets it
bucks, I'll
out.
play your track on my radio show.
He completely owns it now.
I don't care if
Yeah,
it's good. I'm not even gonna listen to it. I'm just gonna
yeah,
drag the file into DJ.studio, and it
yeah.
makes a
But
nice
isn't
mix.
that the way most of the radio things, the podcast, the radio live sets, whatever you call them?
Mm.
I see the track list and I'm like, dude, really? This is like more or less the same as I just listened by somebody else.
Like it's one set
Um,
being played by many others. You mean?
I see a lot of the same tracks
Mm.
in
there
all
it's there's a
the
lot of
radio shows.
outsourcing. There's a lot of outsourcing going on with radio shows. So then people don't mix it themselves, and they kind of give the freedom to a company to include tracks. Um, I think. So
You
I'm
have
not
these
exactly
companies,
sure.
right? Like as you mentioned, where you. I
Hmm.
remember I had one of these companies where I would send my weekly set to, and they distributed to hundreds of online radio
Uh,
stations.
I do gotta admit, we do it all ourselves, but we when we do see names in our mailbox, it's just instant, okay, we'll support you because we like you. We don't
Mm.
even listen to the track.
I
Sometimes
Oh,
we
really?
don't like
Yeah,
it.
you don't even listen to
Yeah.
it.
Well,
Oh,
we
so it's
do
more like
because you have to listen to it when you mix it in, but sometimes we don't even like the track, but it's just
it's
yeah.
more like a favor.
Yeah, but it's somewhere it's a little bit wrong. I also like to, when we incorporate stuff
but
by newer talent, they are way more grateful. They repost you and all. That's stuff you also
But I,
like to see.
I get what you mean, Ralph. But I also think with the friends that are making music, if you don't like the track, at least the track is still very well produced and sounds like
Yeah.
on a certain level. So
No,
then
not
maybe you don't
even.
know.
No,
Then you
but
shouldn't
my
put it
bar
in.
is high. No, it just sounds like shit.
And then you put it
What,
It
in
goes
in
in
your
anyway,
show.
but you
but it's
just like the
fucking
guy?
unfair. It's
But you
fucking
just
unfair. We should
yeah,
like
but
make way for good music.
yeah, but the whole reason why you then use it is because you like the person, and then you put it in, even
Yeah,
though when it sounds
you'd
shit.
like the favor back. It's like the Eurovision Song
Yeah, yeah,
Festival. Hey, I'm actually really honest about it now, and not like there's no mask on, but
Yeah, but
it's
I
how
think
it is,
it
and
should
everybody
still
does it.
true.
have a certain level, at least for my radio show, because I have the same where sometimes friend DJs send tracks, and I'm like, it's not really my vibe, but I think it's well produced, so I put it in because I like them, and they always support my tracks as well. So that's how I also
Yeah,
curate
that's
it.
what I'm
Do
saying. It's
do you
like
guys
Yeah, but I'll just
it's
ask
changed.
if you would put in a track that really sounds shitty as well, like shitty produced,
hmm,
would you still put it in?
Yeah,
Okay.
we did
do you guys have a weekly show or a monthly?
I have a monthly
monthly.
show
Monthly.
Monthly
with
week is too
over
much.
5 million monthly listeners.
How?
Yeah, that's a
Wow,
secret.
that's way bigger than Spotify.
A lot from Mexico, a lot in
Hmm.
Italy, a lot
Ah,
in Spain.
Click
No,
farms.
really? No, 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 no. No, it's like
okay, but then how many bookings do you do in Mexico
three.
this
A
year?
year.
No, but I use one of those services actually that distributes it through online and radio stations. So
Yeah.
your episode just gets aired every month.
Ah,
So
come
if you
on,
have
you
a
don't
big
have
radio
5 million
station,
different listeners.
Talk
they have huge numbers with listeners. So it actually, yeah,
Yeah,
talking
goes pretty
about
well.
that. I actually got an
I
email
never
this
believed
morning.
that shit.
I actually got an email this morning from, I won't mention radio, but a radio station mentioning that they really loved our podcast and if they could feature it onto their channel. Um, it's kind of the same. Kind of the same. Like they'll just reuse the episode and
Mm.
air it on their. I
No,
guess it's a
but
live
with
stream
all the
on there.
radio shows, you get have these distribution firms, and they take like 500 till 750 euros a month to do the distribution, and they
Yeah,
come up with all these numbers. But man, they just don't add up. If you have that
doesn't
many
make sense.
listeners,
Yeah,
you'll bound to get a lot of bookings from it as well.
5 million is a
No,
lot,
that's not
man.
really how it
Or
works, I
nobody
guess.
likes it. All
No,
those
I
five
wouldn't say.
millions.
I wouldn't say. I know a lot of people that also are in the Slam Mix Marathon, which is a huge thing, and they have no zero bookings in Holland.
Mm,
But
So it's like,
definitely, yeah.
isn't that the effect of radio at all? Because I used to think that that's one of the things I kind of was overestimating back then when I was finally got the opportunity to play at Radio 538 or Slam FM back then, like the major radio station in the Netherlands, dance
Slam
department.
always did have a lot of reach, man. It was
Yeah,
popular, but
but I was
now,
always expecting that if I would do a set there or an interview, I would at least notice it on social media, right? Like some followers, some extra likes
oh,
or
but
whatever.
we didn't
Nothing.
notice it quite a lot back in the day, like 10 years ago, or even
yeah, but also not
less,
nearly
maybe
as much as
seven.
the amount of listeners they had. So it's like
No, no,
it's a
not at all.
way it's a very bad return. Let's say if your
Mm.
mix is on the radio, it's way different also than being in the rotation of a radio station. That's
But
just a huge
I think that's
difference.
mainly because radio is being consumed passively, as in people
Mm.
have it on the background, right? They're not actively listening.
No, the best
Um,
listening the period is around 5 when everybody drives home
yeah,
to dinner. Yeah.
and in the morning, right? 9 o'clock, 8 a.m.
And in the
Yeah,
morning, yeah.
yeah. That's like peak time. But it always, I kind of overestimated that in the early phase of my career, that radio did not have the impact that I always thought it had.
Mixes on radio though. If your track gets in rotation, it has a
Yes,
huge impact.
yes, but
Huge.
that's because of the repetition, as in because it
Yep.
gets
Every
replayed
hour.
a couple of times
But
a
that world is
day.
also so unfair, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
Because
with the
I
pluggers and
see
stuff.
I see tracks getting a rotation on the radio stations. Well, they have like 180,000 plays on Spotify. That's nothing. I'm like it that doesn't add up. The track has no traction, but it's always the names that are like proven or they're well known at the radio station itself. We see it here in Holland quite a lot. And then I think, okay, man, nobody listens to that track out of their free will because it's on Spotify. But still, you put it in rotation because they had a few hits a few years
Yeah.
back.
But
Man, what's that
isn't
about?
that
Like, nobody really listens to the music. Hey, and I'm guilty as well with our radio show. So, okay.
isn't that the way how a lot of things in industry work? As in, it's a people's industry, so you do a lot of favors, and if you like someone, you grant them the favor more quickly
The
than you do with
amount,
someone you
the
don't.
amount of, I think, pioneer being a pioneer is like really low. And
Mm,
it's frequently enough, it's a really conservative world as well. Like also just look at Spotify. All the no names get playlisted. While you see you see them just at the big names, no matter what they bring out, they will get all the editorials like like that.
Yeah.
And nobody then really listens to the music. But maybe also the people don't like. Okay, it's Geta must be good. Yeah,
Yeah, so it gets rotation standard.
yeah,
Like,
and
oh, the new Geta.
whilst
Well, here it
like
is.
also our listeners, they bust their ass making even better music sometimes. Sometimes not because, let's say, Geta does make good music, but not
I think
always.
I think it's like most people don't really care that much what they're listening to, and then they're like, "Oh, that's the new David Guetta, or that's the new Suzanne Freek," and they
Mm,
just like that. Oh, the familiar names. They have like this
Hmm.
this set of familiar names, and then they're like, "Oh, that just feels like oh, I'm in the car again, and here's those that duo again." I think that's
mm.
just a way for that it works for radio stations to keep people
Yeah,
like
for me, this world, the
interested.
whole dance scene has been established in between, let's say, 2012 and 2018, and since then, nothing much changed. But it is now, which I really
Yeah.
like.
Now it's
And
changing. Yeah.
I see all the old blogs, the I don't know what, all those. Yeah, man, they're still in the same loop. Get out of your fucking truth focus and
Yeah,
see the world as it is,
I've
because there's a lot changing. There's a
I've
lot
also
moving.
been a bit, well, not annoyed. I would say that's a big word, but like people are trying to bring back styles. I made a joke about like I'm gonna bring back vocal chops, but it's like people now. Oh, progressive is coming back. Look at me, I make progressive. Look at me, progressive, progressive. It's coming back, and it's like if you were hyped, if people were hyped about you, it would happen. It wouldn't. You can't like really fake that or claim a style like that. I think just make really good music. If you want to make progressive. But the hype starts, I think, always at the people who are watching it and listening to it. I think that's where, and sharing it mostly.
Hmm.
And that's where what is really fun about dance music. It always, almost always, like the hits started at the clubs and at the festivals. So something would be big, like Avicii Levels was played by a lot of DJs before it was released. So people were like, "What is that song?" And then way later it came to the radio. So it always dance music, yeah, famously, let's say, always almost always starts at the dance floor, which
But
I
is
Mm.
that
think
still the
is really
case
cool.
though? Because right
Yeah,
now,
it's still
if
the
you would
case.
play, but if you would play it in a set, it quickly goes online, right? So it quickly becomes content, and then it might
Yeah,
go viral.
I think that's just an extra element that now the crowd has a voice more. So then
Hmm.
instead of like only hyping it on a forum afterwards,
Mm.
it's now like, hey, it starts hyping around on social media, which I
Yeah.
think is yeah, really cool,
But
I
take
guess.
Thank You, the Dido song of last year. I mean, that
Hmm.
started living on the forum, or on TikTok and on the socials way before its release. Didn't even have all artists on it when it started living.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Amazing.
We
that's how the
actually
world
talked.
works. Yeah.
We actually talked about this last week after the show. Remember that we talked about the fact that um, EDM has no like what was the thing? Has no like front person right now. There is no person that kind of pulls the whole industry with him or her. You
I
look at
mean,
him,
we have
Jay.
Jobke. Yeah,
We have
what are you
Jobke,
talking about, man? I see him.
capitalist Jobke.
He's here for me in the middle. Yeah.
For me, it's here as well. Yeah.
Me in the
No, but
caught in
we
the
kind of
middle.
never had.
Have you seen
Yeah.
the TikTok of this band? And they say, "Why is caught in the middle in songs always sang in the exact same way?" And it always goes like "caught in the middle," and then they show like five songs, one of Coldplay, and always like "caught in the middle," which is just a
Maybe
funny
because you need to
funny
break
TikTok.
those things up within 4 beats or something. I don't know.
It's just funny.
Anyway, we have a branding problem with EDM, I would say, because there's no front man or front girl that's kind of leading the charge. Um,
I
and
am
that's
secretly.
yeah, but if you think about all those other niche in genres, there's quite some artists that kind of taking the lead,
So
right?
pardon
But
me, please. Yeah.
huh?
Yeah, I think it's never been really cool when I came up, it was always like, oh, EDM is dying, EDM is dying, EDM is dying, and to me, it was always so weird because it was more alive than ever. And now it's kind of like we stepped away a bit from that mainstream stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and it's I think there's room for that again. That's what we talked about last week after the show.
Mm-hmm.
Someone like Alesso, for example, is in my opinion one of the biggest EDM guys who's stuck to EDM, part progressive as well, which is kind of part of that.
And
And
Jello and stuff as well, right? Steven
nah,
Jello.
Steven Jello is like in a league of its own, but like more towards like a bit of a niche, a bit darker and stuff. And I think Alesso is one of those guys that on a main stage is a really good EDM act, and I think there is room for that again in the future, in the
Do
near
we
future.
do we need like a new Martin Garrix, as in a youngster, like someone who's just 20 or something and just comes with some hit song?
I think someone 33, 34, just
Blonde, two kids,
two kids,
yeah,
plays golf.
monthly radio
Well, I
show,
think
you know.
what I think is over now because that when Martin Garrix came up, it was like the hype of everybody was like, "Oh, this guy is 10 years old and he makes music." And now I think that trick is kind of lost its like
Yeah.
power. I'm not that impressed anymore. I don't know about you guys. If you see like this producer is 12 years old and he made an EDM beat, it's kind of like, yeah, that was cool 10
Yeah,
years ago, and now it's
now it's
kind of
not
like, yeah,
impressive.
no one cares how old you are, man.
Yeah,
So
no,
unless
and
you're
it's
over
not.
40, then you're a loser, man.
And it's not impressive at all because
True.
it just became a lot easier to make music. 10 years ago, it was pretty amazing if a 12-year-old kid made a song, but now we can just open up Splice and take everything from there.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah, yeah, yeah,
doesn't make sense.
It's actually
Um,
really, really, really astonishing how bad people can make music sometimes.
it's,
yeah.
al-
I
it's
agree.
always
Yeah.
nice.
I
Like
agree.
how?
I
Like,
agree.
whoa, what did you put on the master to make it sound like this?
Yeah,
Insane.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's because they don't use the samples from Splice. I don't know.
No, all samples are good, and it doesn't matter where you get them from. It's real easy to make music nowadays.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So doesn't not for long we don't have a job anymore, Jopke, and since
Nope.
our co-host is also gone, being a daddy all the time.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, it's that's what I talked about also. Like it's I mean, being a producer, it's gonna go away. I think in the form we know it now. It's like graphic designers in the form you see it 10 years ago is gone. It's so
Gone.
easy now to make artworks, posters, um,
And what would you
and
like to do when you cannot be a musician anymore?
I can always. This is what I always tell people. I can always be a musician. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah, that's true,
maybe
but
I won't
not
make
as a
money off it
profession. Yeah.
as a profession. That's a good one. I have no clue at this point, but I
There's
see
no
myself
talent or something. Do you have any talents?
many talents.
Jopke, do you have any talents at all?
Yes, very much. On the golf course, I
The
no,
golf
no,
course.
but I wouldn't know what to do. But I think I'm already adjusting to the changing uh music market. I'm not taking it for granted that, oh, I can produce, so now I make money off it. I think that's also a thing where beginning artists sometimes think, hey, but I've been doing this for so many years and still not making money. And then I'm always thinking, yeah, but the fact that you doing something for a lot of years doesn't mean you have to you earn it to make money off it.
The only right conclusion then is you'll probably still shit after all those years, man. Go be
Or that,
ashamed.
yeah,
No, but that's no. You also have to have luck. But yeah, it doesn't grant you that you have to make money of something. I totally agree.
yeah.
But I think you would be a very good gardener.
Ooh,
I
Yeah,
actually just did the garden like an hour ago. It's
I can
sunshine,
see
sun is
there's still
shining.
some
I was
so
branches in
nice.
like,
your hair.
It's
yeah,
nice
but
when it's sunny out.
the sun is out. First sun of the year. I was like, I'm gonna go grab some nice flowers and make the garden look more happy than it does now.
Man, you make it sound so feminine.
I know that's my other side, my feminine side.
Grab some
Um,
flowers.
yeah, some
Yeah.
nice flowers, some new sand, everything.
New
Compost. What
sand,
is it?
dude.
Compost. Compost
Compost,
sand.
But
man. I'm getting
overall, it is
turned on right
interesting.
here.
Overall, it is interesting that it was very impressive to be a good producer, and now I think it's not at all impressive anymore. Um, People
Uh,
aren't
I, I,
impressed by, oh,
I
you
have
can
to
produce well.
disagree. I'm still impressed by a
Yeah,
lot of musicians right now.
me too. You can
Actually,
still be
more than
impressed,
ever.
but it takes more than it used to. As in, it's not necessarily the sound anymore or the mixing and mastering. It's more like the creativity behind it. If I like,
Yeah,
for example,
I
what
just
I
think
mixing
for
and
the
mastering.
for us producers, yes, but for
Mhm.
the main crowd, they really don't care how something is made. They
Yeah,
don't
but
care. Like I was
they
at a
never
Fred again concert,
yeah,
and
but they
then
never did.
They
Nobody
care.
no,
cares
no,
how.
but it's good. Like now, even less because like I think they just I think they don't care. They
But
just
they
want
They
never
to
care,
did.
and they
be
have
where the hype
always
is.
cared. They
They want to
just
be where the
didn't
hype
know
is.
that what they cared about. But I mean, Swedish House Mafia always sounded really, really good
True.
back in the day. Now, not so much anymore.
No.
I don't like it.
Did it change?
But
I never really checked it,
Sing
but
one of their
just
latest
sounds like
songs,
every
Joey.
other production right now. It's really bland.
I
But
think I
that's
kind of
just an opinion.
I think I kind of stopped listening or kind of tuned out after that last, was it an album or like an EP with four
And
of the
when they
songs?
released what's it called, Greyhound, that sounded
Oh,
like nothing else.
yeah, that was
That was
sick.
insane. But
Yeah,
it was always the sound. Like with Skrillex, like with
yeah.
Afrojack, like with Avicii, none of them sounded bad at all. They
No,
sounded really, really good.
but I
And
do
yes, you
think
had
that
all sometimes those one-offs that sounded like shit, but they were funny as hell and everybody played them. But those are the not those are the exceptions. People actually you just could notice that it was good produced and it sounded good, and that's why it became a hit.
yeah, but I think a normal person, I think they noticed that they liked the song better than others, but I couldn't really mention the difference
No,
was.
but we know, and was
We know,
also
yeah,
a
yeah,
big
true.
Yeah,
mixing and
but
mastering.
that's
Yeah.
When you play something live and it sounds like shit, it just won't do anything.
Like those old Swedish House Mafia songs like One and Greyhound, if you would play that, like, whoa, just
Yeah,
blown away by
they
the
were
sound.
amazing. They were amazing. Yeah,
Insane.
still, if you listen to Turn Up the Speakers, Afrojack and Martin Garrix on like a big
sucks.
Sick.
system,
Yeah.
Yes.
you get goosebumps from the kick. It's
Yeah.
so like well mixed,
Hmm.
and
Just slaps you.
oh yeah, it's
It's
amazing.
insane. True.
Yeah.
Um
Community
let's
question. Oh,
yeah, let's where's the jingle? I'm just
so
oh,
Where
good,
is it? The
man.
jingle,
Where
Joey?
is the jingle? Come
remember
on.
next time, remember me next time that having kids while recording this is not necessarily the most
Community questions.
let's go.
Okay, community questions. Let's
Okay.
go.
We go back to, I think the first one came in on March 3rd. Yeah, March 3rd. Mikey Foden in the community, in the Discord. By the way, if you're not a member of the Discord yet, make sure to check the link in the description and join our community on Discord. We have a nice community there of people helping each other with kind of everything. So from feedback to emotional support to mental health stuff, book recommendations, everything.
Recipes for cooking.
Recipes. No, I haven't seen that coming by.
No.
I did it was a section in the
Let's
community,
go.
but
What's
I
the question?
kind of took it
You
out.
press the jingle. We have to go
Yeah, come
straight to
on.
the
Let's go to the
questions.
question.
Here's a question: what do you consider good DJ etiquette for when you hop on or off the decks? Ended up playing on a set on Friday where I didn't realize the last guy left off Echo FX on one channel, and it took half an hour before I found out there was a booth speaker. They just turned it off. Made for an interesting but big learning experience for me. So, is there like an etiquette, as in how
Well,
you leave the booth?
there used to be, or not per se how you leave the booth, but in general, there used to be like You would arrive at a festival, you would like kind of make eye contact with the DJ before you. You would like say like, "Hey, is it okay if I plug in?" And you would like try to stay out of the way a little bit and then mix over so into the next track so you wouldn't stop.
Yeah, true.
Changed a little bit when all the DJs started doing intros. So every hour on a festival there's a big intro and it all stops and it doesn't really matter. So I think if you're an more old school DJ, like I remember once I was playing before Chocolate Puma in Tilburg, and
Legends.
they were like just really like back in the booth, like way back on the stage, like waiting for me to wave them over, like yeah, come on in. So they were really like those old school guys who know like you kind of have to leave the DJ that is playing like do his own thing until you can plug in. And when it comes to like leaving the decks, yeah, I mean that's unlucky that the effects is still on and you don't know. And the booth isn't turned on, but that's all stuff that you just have to learn with experience to pick up right away. So if something isn't working, your experience should teach you like right away 5 things like why is that happening. And if you're yeah really experienced, you'll realize right away, oh, the effects are still on, or oh, this channel is not working because of that, or the crossfader. So that just takes doing it a lot. And I don't think there's an etiquette for leaving it proper set and with all the effects off. I think that that's not
Oh,
really a thing. But
but I think you do have a point there, as in it used to be like a continuous set, right? The music didn't stop if a DJ switched. And now everyone has their own like big intro, visuals, everything. Like
yeah,
it just completely changed. It changed the game. So now you kind of need to figure out how you want to start your set or end your set. And back then it was more like you were just part of an evening, I would
there's
say.
such a funny story. I was playing Retrovision's party during ADE, and Retrovision is there the whole night. So with all the DJs, he's there and he's like doing effects. He's doing a lot, like a lot of his own production and stuff. It's really incredible. Then his set is starting, and he starts the intro, and then he's like, and it's just funny because it just it takes the piss out of all those intro DJs. He says, "Let's all pretend I'm not here," and he gets down into the booth, and he actually waits on his knees the whole intro. But it's like that's what it is every time with one of those intros. The whole crowd, the whole crowd knows you're there.
Yeah.
So it's just stupid to just sit there on your knees, like, oh, they know him, they don't know
Oh,
I'm
will he
here.
come? Will he come?
So yeah,
Yeah.
big up to Retrovision because that was really funny. Like just calling it out, like, well, let's all pretend I'm not here. That
Yeah,
was funny.
that's actually funny. Go to the next one from Melodramatic, Mr. Fuck the Suits. Welcome in the live chat. How do you deal with the day-to-day challenges and emotional roller coasters of being an artist and realizing everything you pour your heart into has a purpose behind it, and maintain a balance without crashing? Because it's truly not about the money, but the passion and what you stand for, and do it lost to identity over time. Okay, I'm gonna make this shorter. That's a long sentence. How do you
Dude,
keep your head clear to not give up and keep pushing forward through all the noise?
Keep it. One tip, just from reading the question, keep it simple and one thing at a time. Um, yeah, because this also your question. With all respect, it's just a lot in there. So maybe you also do that in your day-to-day life, trying to be or being an artist and trying to make music. One thing at a time. It's all you can do. Make things more simple for yourself and start there. That's one tip, I guess.
Another thing I can add is that you need to stop comparing yourself to others, because and you want to manage your expectations, because if you have expectations, you kind of feel like you need to live up to something, while if you just make music because you like it takes off the load, I would say. It just takes off the
load.
yeah, it just takes off the negative load of everything, because you
We're gonna
just want to
talk about
enjoy the
34
again.
minutes. 34 minutes, guys. A new record. Also,
yeah.
Melodramatic says it was late and he didn't sleep. So that's why
Oh, that makes
the
sense.
question.
Okay. Yeah. Question from Marin. how do you deal with anxiety when it comes to making music? I myself struggle with this a lot. I open up my DAW and I'm staring at an empty project. It was mentioned before in the podcast that to be a better musician, you have to get out of the comfort zone. Music making is a fun process, but sometimes there are days when you just don't have the motivation to open up the DAW and play around. So, can you get rid of that anxiety and feeling of unmotivated? And what are your opinions about it?
I so hope I saved this reel from that director that just
I got
passed
it.
away.
That's a clip of the week. I got it. Let me play it. It's a
Hmm.
clip of the week.
Did I send it?
Yeah, I'll share it.
It's really good.
Um,
Clip of the week. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Did
yeah,
someone
yeah,
Oh
already
yeah.
make
man,
a?
so
Always
good
thought
that you're not
No,
a
not this one.
singer.
really make for good records
It wasn't
are
this one.
deadlines and small budgets. When there's a deadline, there's also a destination, a context, a reason for something. And that's what makes me finish it. Up until that point, it's an experiment.
That wasn't the one you said?
No, not the one I meant, but this was that was a good one. I mean,
Okay. Well, I think it helps her question, as in him or her. Sorry, I don't know. I open up the door. Yeah, so it's about anxiety of opening the door. What could really help is
I
to have a
always
starting
hear
point.
her like opening the door.
The
The door.
Yeah.
The door.
Door, opening the door.
Yeah, it sounds like
Uh,
New York.
yeah.
Hey, how you doing?
But
I
if you have
sound
an
like
empty
an,
project, you wanna get yourself a start. As in, just take a random vocal that you like or a melody that you like, start working with that, and then halfway through the project, you just delete that part of the song, or you keep it, whatever you want. But having something to start off with, so when you work on a bootleg, for example, that's just much easier than actually staring to an empty project. So that's one thing to deal with it. And the other thing, as in, sometimes you just don't feel like sitting down. That's just discipline. That's what Ralph does.
I
or
Push
you
I
through
buy
did
it.
a bureau that can stand up. Then you can work
I
standing
I
up.
did I did hear a quote from David Lynch, the director that passed away last year, I think. But he said something about, and I wish I saved it because it's so good. But he said like anxiety and fear and stress, that's never where great ideas come from. So if you have that anxiety, it's not a good starting point for something creative. So you have to, not like you, oh, then you shouldn't make music, but definitely like Joey says, like try to find something where you're at least kind of, you're not comfortable, but like you have a good, like anxiety is a horrible start, I think, for creativity
Fear
in
is the
general.
mind killer.
Yeah,
Man, that
yeah.
movie was bad.
Here's Marin as an add to the question. Actually, how do you make music making not to feel like a chore? And that again comes back to expectations, as in it becomes a chore because you feel like you need to reach something with your music. And you kind of need to take off that load, as in you need to take off that expectation and just do it for the fun. Like just enjoy the journey of things. And if you're good at it and if you do it consistently, something will come out of it eventually. But you
Man,
just
dude, you're so talking about self-releasing. When you do it consistently, something must come out of it.
Just keep stroking.
this guy is 41, like
I'm not 41.
No, it's
42.
they never reveal their age. That's the
Mm. Anyway, I think that's one of the most important things. You just want to do it because it's fun. You want to enjoy the process, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's it.
it's
Nice.
one of those things where you have to just do it. And like if you set that deadline, you will make something, but don't have any expectations. You know? That's
That's what she said.
yeah. Don't have any. That's what I told. Don't
My
have
wife.
any expectations at all.
No, but
2
the thing
minutes
is, I
max.
mean, also ask yourself, like, why am I doing this? What do you get out of it? Did
Again,
ask
that's what she
Joey.
said. Yeah.
Hey, isn't that song? Why am I doing this? Boom, 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 boom.
That's
Oh
Bazinga,
man,
right?
it's all downhill from here.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah. It was actually ghost produced by Martin Garrix.
Martin Garrix.
Which one?
But
Why am I doing this?
why am I doing? Oh, actually, we also did it with W&W last year. We took that sample.
Oh,
Why did we do that? No, but it should be about having fun. And of course, sometimes it's a little bit frustrating making music because it's like you're always solving a problem. Okay, I have this bit. I want to go to this bit. How do I do that? How do I get that sound? How do I get this? It's always problem solving, which can
Yeah.
be frustrating. But in the end, yeah, if you make a cool loop of 15 seconds, that's also a goal. That's pretty cool, if you can listen to that loop over and over again, and it's just making progress. That's also, yeah, something that's really awesome.
it's
But it goes slowly, and
and
it
also
can be.
accept. Sorry. Go ahead.
Man, you're always talking through
Always,
me.
man. Always.
There's also an etiquette right here, man.
An
Yeah,
online
we should
etiquette.
have the sliders for the
Mm.
audio.
Yeah.
No,
Uh,
but
Um,
it should be about fun. And if you really feel anxiety about producing at all, yeah, that's not
that's
a good
tough.
thing.
but
What's also
I know the feeling. It's like it's also when you make a good loop or like a good drop, and then you're like kind of, it sounds weird, but scared to mess that up. To like, oh, now I need to make a break or a build up, and you're kind of like, but I have this amazing break, and don't want to kind of. It's weird, but then it's so good that you don't want to ruin it. But you have to really get rid of that and just think, hey, I'm just gonna keep going with this project, and whatever comes out of it, man, if it gets worse, it gets worse, doesn't matter. If you can get that mindset, you will just continue on every project and set a deadline to finish it. So end of the week, I'll make a first draft of that version, and you will just continue working on it. But that's something you really have to master a little bit. You really have to just yeah, learn that over the years, that sometimes things work out, sometimes they don't. Sometimes things you think are really good are really bad, and the other way around. So yeah,
Man, that's wise, man.
knowledge bomb. Knowledge bomb.
I mean,
Some
it is pretty smart, actually. Yeah,
Yeah.
something you need to take
it's
in
good to hear
consideration.
for beginning producers.
Every artist should also take in consideration that the minute you decide that you want to make a living from your music, there will be moments where you just don't feel like making music, and you kind of have to, because of deadlines or whatever. And the rule of life is that you need to break through frustration in order to grow, in order to build something that is like something nice. Or
Man,
how would you say that?
we're
Like,
fucking way off. Next question. Let's
No,
go.
no, go ahead. No, go ahead. Go
no,
ahead.
like there's always resistance for everything you want to build. Like there's a reason why it's hard to become bigger in life, right? To become successful.
I agree with
Ralph
that.
is
I
still
only hear
stuck.
hard and bigger, man.
This
Are you
guy.
sure you're not 14 instead of 41? Please,
Oh
14,
please.
man.
14, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I
You
think
just
so.
need
Yes.
to. What I wanted to say is, you just need to push through if you
Push.
want to achieve some. You just if you want to achieve something huge in life.
What?
Yeah, it's just getting worse. Anyway,
Also, if
Next
you're having a bad
question.
day and you need to
uh,
finish a deadline and you need to make money off it, or you're like have a remix you're working on, man, just imagine yourself. There's many shittier jobs. Just get on with it. You need
Hey,
a
and
little bit of
deadlines
Ralph
don't
in your.
mean shit in the music industry. If you finish it before 12, the stupid project manager at the stupid label won't even forward it to his stupid boss anyway. And oh yeah, oh it's in my mailbox already. Oh yeah, I didn't see it. Yeah, so fuck it, man. Just chill. Everything will be okay.
don't take it so
Nobody works
seriously.
here anyway.
Okay, question from Jaco in the community.
Oh,
When you have multiple music projects going on, how do you decide on which day or time you do the projects? Is there like a strategic thing, or based on feelings and inspiration or deadlines?
just do what you feel like doing.
So no deadlines or whatever. I do know
In
that
No.
I do remember that Firebeats used to tell me that because they were next to me in the studio, they worked on 2 or 3 songs on a day, so 2 3 hours per song, and they did that to start every project with fresh ears, so you don't spend too long in a project. So that was their reason, I know, but I'm not sure if you have
It's
something
it's
else
it's
there.
nice to have a side project that's totally different, like I have with Eggboy, like the lo-fi stuff, because then
Hmm.
every once in a while I can take a break, but still keep that, like, let's say, flow of creation going. So, but you just give your ears fresh. You're just having fun in a whole different way, and then you get back to your project, and you do have kind of fresh ears. Your ears are just like, ooh, you're excited about the project a
Nah,
little bit
I
more again.
sometimes, I most of the time, I just get ideas for other tracks whilst working on a track, and yeah, then you just switch around.
Yeah,
There's a lot of the times I have 2 or 3 FL Studios open
but
with different projects.
I would suggest to say, like, to yourself, today I'm gonna work on this, this, and this. Have some kind of a goal for the day, because I've done too many times where I'm like, oh, today I'm just gonna be creative in the studio, and it's almost never works. So yeah, that. I see.
Okay.
Joey just skips a bunch of
Okay.
questions.
No, I was just taking new names. So there's a question from Judgment. How do you claim royalties? What's the process you do?
Claiming royalties. That's
Hmm.
just yeah. Normally, when you release at a label, you'll get statements every half year, and they say to you how much you can invoice them for. So you do. You also have firms that can check whether or not those statements are
Yeah,
faulty or not. Um, don't try to do it yourself. It's yeah. I think you have to take a leap of faith with your label you're working with. And if you do it all yourself, your distribution partner will give you all the numbers. Um, yeah, that's about it.
yeah.
I think.
You don't have to do much yourself, to be honest. And if everything's working all right, it should come to you automatically through the label or to your distributor. So,
Yeah,
as you said,
there are a
you
few labels I never got a statement from.
yeah, me too. But
Big
we talked
labels
we talked
also.
about that last time. For me, it was smaller labels, but for you, it was bigger labels.
Yeah.
And sometimes those things are also just like administration mistakes. So some song is missing from a statement, then you should be aware of that, and check, like, and
Mm.
email them, hey, this song is missing, and then usually 9 out of 10 times it can be fixed. That
Being
1 out of 10
being an
time,
artist. Oh,
no one ever replies. The label doesn't exist anymore.
They just vanish. Yeah,
Yeah,
what they
no, but
start a new agency.
usually, like, yeah, you are in
true.
touch with people with a label for contracting and stuff. Keep those contacts so that you can always, if you didn't receive anything, contact those people.
If
Yeah,
you're taking off as an artist and you do more and more, also take care of your administration.
Yeah,
It's quite a hassle. We have folders for every release we have with a master file, with parts of it, stems, with the master waves, but also there's contracting in there. We have the content we put online. We have everything in one folder per release, and we document it all. So if you need to take a look back, you can do it all. You have
yeah,
always stems of your old projects, because not all the projects files will open in time or through time.
it's actually a good
Being an
idea.
artist and getting bigger and bigger also takes a lot of administrative slur with it.
Yeah, true. Here's a
But if you
question.
have it all figured out and it's overseeable, that gives you actually an edge. So the shit you don't want to do gets easier and
Hmm.
dealt with faster, because there's a lot of money going around, people eating off your skills and talents, and you want to minimize that. All those fucking
Yeah,
parasites, the
because
suits,
it's
fuck the
because it's
suits.
all
mhm.
because it's all percentage based, right?
but
Yeah.
but big labels, they do love, and this sounds very weird, they do love compliant artists that just say yes and do what you
Sure.
ask them. And also for touring agencies and stuff, it's very easy if an artist is like, well, whatever, oh, we want to do that for the release, we have this big plan, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I've realized in my career that I've always really wanted to keep control, learn to do that a little bit less over the years, but it not always works out the best for certain
No, it's real
relationships or
easy for a label to say. We just the other day got a question like, "Hey, we want to make a Dolby Atmos for Apple, and we can do it for 600 euros." I said at first, I said I don't hear any question in here because they didn't ask me. They just notified me like we can do this for 600 euro. Do you want to? Or they didn't even ask, do you want to do it? Then they said, do you want to do it? Do you want to pay for it? And then I said, you're not making this sounding really interesting. You know, what do I get out of it? But for them, it's also really easy because they send it out to a master engineer that can make it Dolby Atmos. Apparently, Apple loves it. I'm not sure, but apparently. But for them, it's just a decision. But for me,
Mm.
it actually means work, and I have to fucking pay for it.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Make it interesting for me. Being on the sideline, it's real easy to say, like, hey, we should do this, we should do that. Man, most of the project managers should just can, they should be gardeners. They're like pretty much
but they
useless.
do love it when the artist just like, yeah, whatever, I'll do it.
Hey,
Yeah,
They,
and they
sure.
come
they
with
just
a
love.
marketing plan, and the marketing plan is only that they have all these videos like available now on Apple Music and Spotify, the newest track by Hardway, and that's all you see. But that's not marketing. That's building assets. But it's really of no use. Nobody, but really, literally, nobody cares. They rather just see Jobke taking this phone and say, "Hey, I worked my ass off for this new track. I really like it. I hope you do too. Here's a link. Press it here and let me know what you think of it." Simple as that, you know.
Okay.
But that's my 2 cents. Fuck the suits. Ooth, melodramatic.
Here's a question from Renzo. What was your breakthrough track, and what do you think was special about it?
For us, it was Mush Mush.
And
It
what was
was just a
special about
kick
it?
ass track.
And what made it
Oh,
special, do you think?
huh?
What made it special?
Yeah, the use of the synth in there, like this hover sound, wasn't used very often in our thing. Also, I actually sampled it from a drum and bass track, and but for EDM it wasn't used, and also the flow and the ways of how it dropped. That
Mm-hmm.
pre-drop bar was like most defining for that track, and it just had that energy, man. Everything clicked and was played a lot back then. Yeah, that for us was the
Okay.
breakthrough. That was what made it special.
What about you, Jopke?
For me, Wizard with Martin Garrix. And what made it special, it's mostly, I think, timing with these kind of tracks, like the right time, the right record, the right things fall into place. The record itself, I think, amazing melody,
Hey,
amazing
dude,
melody.
but that drop
Um,
melody, I can still sing it.
drop, but interesting,
It's really
unique
cool.
drop.
Mm.
And right, the timing was just perfect of that. So like,
Mm.
also Martin Garrix had Animals, and this was the first single after that. And then yeah, I was quite unknown, and I was like allowed fully on the track, which they wouldn't do anymore like that, I think. But I'm very grateful that Martin really pushed for it, and yeah, it's just a
Mm.
very special track.
For me, I guess it was Moonster with Hardwell, the collaboration. And to be honest, I don't think it was the track, but it was more the timing, as in the fact that Hardwell was very hype at that moment. At that moment, everybody was like looking at what he was doing, and at that moment, I had a collaboration with him, so I just kind of rode the wave, I would say. Um, Track was nice, but I wouldn't say it was my best, to be honest. So yeah, it was more the momentum. Let's see. Did we have all of them? No, here. Another question from Mikey Foden. What do you think about targeting radio streaming consumption via DJ club consumption for your productions? So I had the realization I produce with the DJ in mind first and radio edit second, but maybe I should do it the opposite way. Interesting.
I missed a part.
So now he produces with the DJ first in mind and radio added second. And he's thinking about maybe switching that. I have to open up the door 2 seconds.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes sometimes we produce first the radio edit and then later on
I guess
the
it changed a
extended
bit
edit.
now.
Yeah.
I guess it changed a bit now with TikTok and stuff being way more big, because it used to start always with the DJs, but now it can also start online. So it's kind of a decision you have to make a little bit. What I will say is, if it works well and is played by DJs, it is likely to yeah, get bigger online as well, because then it will be played everywhere. So I still think that's
Hmm.
the, well, easiest road for a hit to in dance music. But it definitely goes the other way around as well, that it becomes a TikTok hit and then DJs
Hmm.
want to play it. So
Also,
yeah.
kind of depends on what kind of track you're making. That if you use more vocals, you'll tend to more focus on making a radio edit. And also, I totally agree. The socials have like really remade the way I look at music, because I always think of this is going to be my TikTok snippet, which means this is will be the snippet how Marlon plays it. If we use like these vocals in the tracks, we always make a part where the vocal starts naked in the track, and then 4 bars up until the drop, or sometimes 8 bars with a little run in there. But that we can start a little clip of the track with only those vocals. Yeah. And that gets into the track. Sometimes I don't even like that in an extended, but still stays in there because of TikTok and Reels.
Nice.
Okay, nice.
It's all
Guys,
marketing, man. No passion
It's
at all.
also, but that's also with the knowledge that if DJs receive the promo, they don't like the exact arrangement, they can change it
Hey, you
very
can always
easily.
cut in it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's what we always do.
Also, if you have a track release with vocals, you should also always send it out instrumental as well, because people don't like to play unknown vocals. So maybe they can
make a
play it
bootleg.
instrumental or put
Yeah.
their own vocal on
To
it.
be
Or
honest, when there's a lot of vocals in a track, or it's a hit, or the track doesn't get played live,
yeah.
Oh, really?
it's really hard.
Hmm. Okay. Hey guys, let's end this for now. The kids are getting
Destroying
annoyed.
the house.
Yeah, exactly. And we have answered all the questions. So, anything to show?
Yeah, there's a lot of shit coming out. You can go over to our Instagram. That's at Bassjackers, Bassjackers. We have our less backstage area there, and you can see me dropping all these new bombs. Or just go over to TikTok, also at Bassjackers, and we drop all the new music over there. And it's a really vibrant area where a lot of people talk about good music,
Vibrant
which is
area.
ours.
I actually saw Jay posting new stuff this week as well, like just showcasing it on SoundCloud, right?
Well, it's my radio show. That's my
No,
new
you did
track.
post a song there, right?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
no. Listen, please listen. It's
Okay,
it's my
bye.
radio show. It has my new track in it, and someone posted it, so I reposted them. So in my radio
No,
show, you can listen to my new track, and also my bootleg of "Bad Dreams" by Teddy Swims. And yeah, I just in general follow me at J Hardway or at J Hardway official on TikTok, because on and J Hardway on Instagram,
Yeah.
because I'm
y-
my tactic for this year, and I really enjoying it, is just showcasing what kind of music I'm working on, and
that's the
it's
goal.
fun. You can see the upcoming stuff. I'm very fun. Yeah.
Nice.
You know
And don't
what's
forget to check out artist coaching if you're interested in getting coached by one of us or any other DJ. And yeah, check out our website and other services we offer. And thanks for listening. We will be back
Other services we offer.
like self-release of Ralph, who knows. Uh,
massage?
next week we will be back. Is that next week? No, it's not next week.
Yes.
No, it's not next week.
Yeah,
It
we
is
do
next
live
week.
It's
Yeah.
12th.
next week we will be back live in the podcast studio together with Kill the Bus. So make sure to join that episode in the live stream. It's going to be fun. And looking forward to see you all there. Enjoy this nice sunny day, everyone. Bye. Bye.
Adios.
Eén uur